Guys, we got an architecture tour leaving at 4:30. Actually, come right around the front and we'll help you out right there.
merong pakada som bila pangkola bila haksia kami merong pakada som hause kanche
tickets. By the end of the World's Fair, the Ferris wheel was a big, giant, sold-out success. Unlike George Barris's marriage, which unfortunately did end up failing just a little bit later on. Now this building over on our left-hand side, this curving blue building, that is the St. Regis Tower. It is the third tallest building here in the city of Chicago. We're going to talk more about her later on as we pass by. Excuse me. They would have used this area as part of their vast trading networks throughout the Great Lakes region, and they named it Chicago, or at least a version of Chicago. We're not entirely sure what the original pronunciation was, but we do know its translation. Chicago quite literally translates to mean the land of the stinking onion river. Yeah, you heard of the Big Apple? Welcome to the Big Onion. We're good for your heart. Towards the building, you can see that there are these lines that start at the base of the building and start to draw your eyes upwards, making this building look even bigger than it already is. And this is a very big building. When it was built in 1930, it was the biggest building in the world in terms of square footage. And for a reference, you can fit 73 football fields inside of there. It is so big that for a while it even had its own zip code. It is so big, it has its own stop off the L train. If you get off the Brown line at the Merchandise Mart, you will be deposited right on inside the building. And if you happened to bring your bike with you that day, it was creating it a little farther forward. And in front of the River Point building, there is that red swirling sculpture. That is a sculpture designed by world-famous architect Santiago Calatrava. But that is the only thing in the city of Chicago that he designed. That's not how it was supposed to be. He did actually design a need beauty. So feast your eyes on this beautiful building on our left-hand side. This green curving building that is the Nuveen building. This is a contextualism building. It was designed to look like the river below. But you might recognize this guy. In the 20s, we were producing more meat here in Chicago than anywhere else in the world, which earned us the nickname of the Hog Butcher of the World. That industry closed down in the 1970s. In the 1980s, architect Harry Weiss came on the scene, converted this guy into a residential building. He had 1800s insulation. Right next door, these little cottages here, they are the River Cottages, also built in the 1980s by Harry Weiss, who very famously was a nautical-loving man, loved sailing. You can see that in the design. And this architectural design is called postmodernism. It can be defined by whimsical colors and whimsical shapes. And that statue is of Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture and grain, which maybe seems like an odd choice, but agriculture and grain was really big business at the turn of the century. If you've been to Buckingham Fountain in Grant Park, that was donated by a woman named Kate Buckingham who inherited her fortune, which was made off of grain elevator production. That is our princess. Our queen is in front of us, this brown kind of pink building with the crown of lights. That is 311 South Wacker. And like many queens throughout history, like what just happened between me and that horn. When she was built up in the 1990s, her crown shone so bright and so beautiful that it outshone. In 2001, we started the Riverwalk project over on our right-hand side. And on our right-hand side, you might see these projectors. These projectors here, they are part of the largest digital art display in the world. It's called Art on the Mart. Every night at 9 p.m. and 10:30, you can see a story projected onto the merchandise mart. On our right-hand side of the Riverwalk as well, at the base of these steel columns, you can see all of these floating gardens. These floating gardens are called fish hotels, and they are designed so that way their roots will go down into the water, creating a lovely mini habitat for fish. An area for fish to hang out in, grow up in, hopefully not get eaten in. In the 1970s, there was around 10 species of fish left in the river. But today, thanks to our conservation efforts, there are